Gotta love when I have to get everything set up in the last second. Howdy, everybody, and welcome to episode 8 of Random Rhapsody's test play of Magi-Knights TTRPG system. I'm Matthew R. Dawson, your friendly neighborhood host and magic keeper for this mini-series event, and joining me around my virtual table today are Alyssa, Dasonie, Hitoshura, and Jeff. Say hi, everyone. Stephen, unfortunately, is not with us this week, but we wish him the speedy recovery. Now, before we begin, I want to give a shout-out to the Magi-Knights project team. While the Kickstarter is now over, you can still pre-order a copy of the official rulebook on their website, which is Magi-Knights.com. Next off, I'm pleased to announce that we have 2 new one-shots coming up during the fall season. First, we'll be playing the follow-up to our summer one-shot, Defenders of the Wall, towards the end of this month. And then next, we will be playing our annual Halloween one-shot on Sunday, October the 23rd, which will be hosted and GM'd by Kyle Thomas of the Fab 5 campaign. Now, you can keep up to date on everything we're doing on Random Rhapsody by following us on Facebook as Random Rhapsody TV and on Twitter as @random_Rhapsody. Okay, that should do it for the announcements. So join us as we return to Laropa City and continue on with the Magi-Knights as they investigate an echo from the stars. Yeah, love it. Okay, yeah, and on screen. But that's okay, we're back! So to start things off tonight, everyone is going to roll a d20, and whoever rolled the lowest is going to give us a recap of the previous episode from their perspective of their character. I will, of course, fill in any blanks you can't remember if you need me to, and we'll go from there. So let's see what those rolls are. And why is it not up for me? I feel like it's pretty much always. It is always Hito. That's true. That's true. But streak's broken. That's true. Yeah. Well, David, tell us about what happened last week and earlier today on Magi-Knights.
Definitely investigating ghosts.
Okay.
That's it.
Were you? Were you though? Well, I mean,
it's been like a month since we played this game. I'm sorry, I do not remember.
It's true. It's been a few weeks. So you, David, and Talia had gone to the used bookstore to try to learn more about that ghost. Ended up talking with Eunice Song, the granddaughter of the guy who owns the store, who Daryl had indentured himself to.
Right, and we found out that people that were involved with Stacy have been going a little bit nuts.
Lacey,
sorry. And we tracked one of the guys. I forget his name.
Levi.
We tracked Levi to a place, and then he jumped into a
It's a really kitschy
pool.
diner.
Yeah.
I was gonna say a bar, but that didn't sound right.
No.
No, it was like a tiki bar.
Yeah, and he jumped or fell into a pool of water and vanished beneath the surface. And we also tried to jump in, but then nothing happened. So...
Yeah. Jasmine dived in after him, trying to catch him, and she got covered in water and completely soaked. But he was just gone, straight up gone. And then the police arrived and started freaking out and all that. Also,
and then we remembered that there's a warrant out for Dasonie, and we fled.
something like that.
You cause a crash a little bit, and all of a sudden you're the problem. You're the drama.
You do just a little bit of crime. Just a tiny bit of crime.
Just a little bit of crime. It's not that bad.
Everybody deserves a little bit of crime to see if they like it.
Exactly. Yeah. Be gay, do crime. It's all good. Love it.
Exactly.
Also, during that session, Iris and Daryl went to the hospital to look into the other guy that Lacey had been seen dating, and they discovered that he had disappeared the previous night. And his dad, who was an ex-football player, was freaking out and offering a reward for any information about him that leads to his recovery. Then Iris and Daryl went to investigate the room and found that the mirror that Daryl was kind of obsessed about was just an ordinary mirror. There's a little bit of residual magic, and there was some scratch marks along the edge of the thing that gave the appearance that something had come through there. And then, Anthony Reed had disappeared. So that's at least two individuals that's disappeared recently with a mirror, some type of reflective surface involved. Let's see. Do you all remember doing anything else that session?
Towards a warehouse or something. We went to a Blockbuster.
Yep, you went to a Blockbuster.
That's where we
Oh my
ended.
god, I remember. That we were walking towards a cult thing that was happening at the beach next to the Blockbuster video.
Right.
Yeah, there's a ravine next to the Blockbuster video across the street, and you had seen some purple light coming out of it. Your soul crystals were all glowing, and you knew that the spectral outsiders were doing something nearby, so you started heading in that direction just about the same time that the video store was closing down. And that's kind of where we find ourselves right now. It's very late in the evening. By this point, it's probably around getting close to 11:30 or so. And as you had all walked across the parking lot, those of you with a high passive perception would have seen that the lights of the Blockbuster video store have been turned off, and that kid that was working there locked the door and went over to his car. But that's not really the thing that has everyone's attention right now. Instead, the focus of most of your attention is the soft pinkish-purple glow coming from across the street in that ravine. You can all hear the sounds of rhythmic chanting coming from that direction as well, and the closer you've gotten to that ravine, the more your soul crystals have begun to glow. So all of you are bathed in at least a little bit of light coming from those crystals, unless you've, hidden them or anything. But with that in mind, as I turn on the music so the audience can hear, oh, it is on. Okay, cool. So what all would you like to do? And let me give you that map while I'm at it, too.
Please do. Please.
There we go. There's your map. There's all of you standing there across the street. You can see across to the other side the ravine going down, at least a little bit. I feel like I should also give each of you a little bit of light so you can see from those crystals. So let me do that as well. I'll go ahead and pilot Daryl for today since he's not here. Hopefully I don't kill him, but you never know. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Dasonie hid in a tree. Just straight up hid in a tree. Damn right. Well, you found yourselves all standing on the other side of the street from the ravine in the edge of the Blockbuster video rental. While the street lights overhead are on in the parking lot itself, the street is oddly dark. Almost as though all of the lights that were there have either been removed or have been broken so that you can't see anything from them. You can definitely see like a couple of street lights on the other side that should be on but are broken and no light coming from them. You can see with what limited vision there is down to the south that very large ravine. And a bit of a path that seems to be leading in that direction. You can also see the bright purple glow that's coming from the edge of it, right down here. Which I think you should all be able to see. No? There we go. There's the purple glow. But yeah, it's definitely there. So, Magi-Knights, what do you want to do? Oh yeah, your crystals are glowing. Your crystals glowing was what led you to the Blockbuster video store. But while you are all kind of screwing around in the store itself, the crystals continued to glow brighter and brighter, and you eventually all left, and that's when you saw the pink glow coming from the ravine. Okay. Well, you grab your crystal, say the magical words, and you change and turn into the Magi-Knight. You want to describe that for us? Because it's been a little bit. You want to tell us what that looks like? Now, seeing that, probably Daryl would do the same. But he's not going to offer a whole lot more than just helping out because, Steven's not here. But we'll say that he's definitely going to transform as well. How about... kind of seems like it, doesn't it? I know. Probably. But what about the rest of you? Okay, why don't you tell us how that looks, too? Okay, so few things kind of shitty that I just now realized is that y'all's sound wasn't coming through here.
Oop.
Yeah, so I've been talking to myself, everybody. That's really irritating.
That seems suspicious, friend.
Yeah. So I'm a little irritated. I apologize to everyone who watched. I doubt I can fix that in post, but I will let you know that Iris and Jasmine have both transformed, doing a really cool description that I fucking didn't catch on my stream. So I'm a little irritated with myself, but it's okay. We're gonna keep going anyway. David, Tilia, how about you?
Yeah, David will transform. He'll kind of stick towards the back, though.
Okay. Why don't you tell us how your transformation looks like?
God, I don't remember what I said last time. So, transformation Mark 2. He takes the crystal, kind of holds it out and up, and lets out those words that are in his heart in kind of a whisperful prayer of to protect those myriad hearts. And his feet twist and go into like almost kind of like a cat stance as a magical circle kind of extends out a couple feet below him, and out from it little like tendrils of sky kind of twist and wrap around his body, and once encompassed in a flash we see the he is completely in the like starry sky purple light night uniform.
Love it. Tilia, how about you?
Seeing everyone transforming is going to be like, oh boy, not again, here we go. And she's gonna kind of just like be clutching her pen, and she's gonna click it. Nothing happens. Click, click, click. Click, and she's gonna start hyperventilating and panicking. And then that next time she clicks, the shadows all seem to coalesce around her and kind of wrap around her and encapsulate her, almost a chrysalis. And then, with like little beams of white light that kind of break through every once in a while, and then it all kind of like swirls into a vortex and dissipates. And there you see her as Rowan, Magi-Knight.
Love it. Very cool. With all of you now transformed, your soul crystal kind of appears there on your chest, and it is still glowing slightly. You do still have the vision and are able to see. And that evil chanting that you've been hearing is still going on.
Well, we should go see what that's about, right?
Probably.
Or I know we all just changed, but I just bought a cool new video game. You guys want to go play?
Jasmine's already running towards the fight.
Oh,
Right.
jeez.
Okay. So you start heading towards the ravine. Now, you can see that there is just a drop-off, but to the southeast over here, you can actually see that the ground kind of slopes downward and goes in a little bit of a path down to the ravine. So you could either go and start making your way down into it, or you can go to the edge and look down and see what's going on. It's entirely up to you. Where are you wanting to go?
I'll round the edge and try to see what's going on.
Okay. Are you just heading straight over there, or are you moving stealthily? Are you trying to keep a low profile?
Just head over there, fuck it. I'm
Fuck
just
it.
heading over there.
Okay.
I'm gonna dash here.
You can still see the pink glow. You can still see. You can still hear all of that rhythmic chanting that's going on. It seems to be reaching a crescendo right now. The chanting is becoming more intensive. The words that, while you can't really understand what they're saying, you can definitely tell that the tempo is increasing at the longer you all stand here.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like we're going to be late to the party again.
Uh-huh. Alright, so we can't see any better from here then?
Not really. Like all of you have gone walking into the middle of the road at this point. It is a double lane road going both ways. There is a sidewalk on the other side, and that's from the sidewalk beyond. That's where the ravine is.
All right.
Well, that's a fair point.
Iris...
He would not stand in the middle of the road. He would be a good boy and stay off to the sidewalk.
Iris will cautiously approach the edge.
Go ahead and just give me a perception check, Iris.
Alright, perception. That is a solid 13 total. 13
isn't bad. You from the edge you can see the light coming off of obviously a magical circle of some type in the ground. There is quite a bit of people down there, which I'll go ahead and show you now.
Oh no.
You see a group of children, probably around your age, standing in the middle of this glowing circle as energy seems to ripple around them in almost like a swirling wave. You can see two large groups of people all wearing the same red robes, hood up to cover their face. There's two large groups of them to either side, and they have their arms raised up, and they seem to be casting a spell of some sort. There's also another individual wearing red robes, a little bit away from them. He has a knife in one hand, and he almost seems to be conducting them as they're casting this spell. With your 13, you can see that the children or teenagers that are in the circle itself, they seem vaguely familiar to you, and it takes you a second, but it clicks in the back of your mind. You've met all these kids before.
Mm.
It's all of the kids in the Ghost Hunters Club.
Oh, shoot.
Ah, damn it, we should have joined them. We could have gotten here first.
They were so lame. They were so lame.
No, you're the one who got scared of them.
I was scared of the ghost.
You're the one who got scared. Oh, shoot. What's wrong with my mouse? Okay,
yeah, Iris, you kind of gasp a little bit as you see this. And that's enough of a sound that the one in the back holding the knife turns, and that half-hooded face seems to look directly up at you, almost as though it's peering into your soul. And they yell, "Intruders! Get them!" And I need everyone to roll for initiative.
These nerds are violent.
Does that mean that Bianca's amongst them? Because she was part of the Ghost Hunter Club too, right?
She was. And like you're looking around, you don't see her in the circle itself, but you do know that she was with them. But at the angle you're at right now, you can't exactly see her.
Oh shoot, I hope she's not the hooded figure. Alright.
Is initiative just plus your dex?
Yep, D20 plus your dex.
Why is my initiative +4?
I don't know.
The initiative box, on the Excel sheet that we've been using is from a very old version and is not correct.
Yes.
I'm just gonna click initiative and -2 to whatever it. So 11.
I got a very cute 7.
A very cute 7.
It's so adorable.
I have to reload roll 20 because it doesn't like me today.
It rolled for you once.
And then it stopped.
And then it said, "How dare you?"
Is one roll not enough? You demand more still?
I know, I'm such a demandy bitch.
So needy.
Fuck. Okay. Let's see if it's going to let me do it this time. Apparently not. Sorry for all the technical issues today. God damn.
Today's the day.
We'll fix it in post.
Yeah, exactly.
You can even fix, like, our broken mics in post. Just, do every line yourself and do your best impressions of us.
Yeah, that can totally work.
I want to have your impression of me.
Oh, I don't know if I could do that one.
I was like, you and I are at least somewhat similar.
Yeah. Let's see if I can. While this is still loading, by the way, let's see if I can do Dasonie. Okay, guys, what do you think? Do I sound like Daz? Do I sound like Dasonie?
Nope. No, you do
No,
not.
no, not at all. Okay.
To be fair, Dasonie, you are very breathy.
Yeah.
I'm very breathy, but like, I feel like it's I'm at a weird intersection of Valley Girl accent that doesn't make sense and inner city accent that just.
Fair. Yeah. No. True.
Okay, I'm trying this a different way now.
What are y'all up to? While we fill the silence.
That's a good question.
Oh, did you mean our characters?
No, I don't know.
Just in general.
I just wanted to talk so there's not this awkward silence.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, I also, yes, my corsets came yesterday, and then my pattern for the little vesty thing is going to arrive tomorrow. Something that I ordered back in March is finally on its way to me.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh. Ow.
Oh, I'm excited for that.
I have acquired a friend.
Okay, is anybody not in the turn order?
Oh, I'm not.
Yeah, Dasonie isn't either.
Oh, you guys forgot to click your tokens.
I don't have my stuff like filled out,
Honestly,
so I just rolled.
I catch you roll 20. Yeah.
Oh, that's
No.
true, yeah.
So David is a 15 and Dasonie's a 7.
Yeah.
But it's a cute 7. It's a very cute
Yeah.
7.
It is. It's the most adorable 7 I ever did see.
Most
Okay.
adorable 7 I ever did see.
Okay,
It's
Jasmine,
it's a
7.
8, 9.
No, it's
No?
way too cute for that.
You don't know.
I do know.
You can be
I know
cute
that's-
and a murderer.
I know that 7 person.
Would I mean it's more cannibalism, but sure.
Wow. Okay. Okay, playing with a lot of technical difficulties, but we're finally there, so that's good. And guess what? It's Iris's turn. Iris, you can see from your position on the edge of that cliff that looking down into the ravine that one of the hooded robed individuals is staring up at you, pointing that knife at you. There are 2 hordes of more cultists around that glowing sigil on the ground, with all of the ghost hunting club just frozen in it, looking like they're in agony and pain. Like you can see their faces are grim masks of agony. Like their mouths are open, their eyes are rolled back in their skull. They're looking upward, but it's more like an unhuman wail that's kind of emanating from them. So what would you like to do?
It's a good question. So, I don't know that I have a good enough I don't know if I have a good enough perspective to exactly see them. Let me see. Going to... Yeah, that works. Gonna move up here. Probably not that close to the edge. And I'm going to look down at the person in question, this person here, and I'm going to try and cast elemental chains on them. So,
Okay, what does elemental chains do?
So, basically, they have to make this DC 12, or they are restrained by my spell, and it specifies that it is a mortal minion within 60 feet must roll resistance on magic. Yeah.
Okay, and you said you're doing that on the cultist and the robes down there?
Yep, the leader looking one right there.
Okay.
I pull out the windy card and I call Claws of the Stars bind my foes, can't say.
Okay. And what did you say that the roll was again?
It's a DC 12. It says roll to resist magic.
Got
It
it.
doesn't specify what that stat might be.
Yeah, that's okay. It's your magic. It's whatever your magic attack modifier is. It's the same
Oh, yeah.
thing. So let me look here. Okay.
Oh, so like if I was making this check, I would roll intelligence because that's my spellcasting modifier.
Correct.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. That's pretty simple.
Okay. Well,
Oh,
they
nice.
rolled a 6, so that is definitely a failure.
Nice.
So
I
so yeah.
magically bind them.
these elemental chains come swirling around this individual, and they're just locked into place, frozen in that moment as the elemental chains hold them down. Now, do they have? How does the spell work? Do they have to like do it each turn or what?
So whether it doesn't say anything about rolling again in my notes. Let me double check, but I can use my bonus action to try and knock them prone.
Okay. Yeah, definitely.
All right. Make the roll again with disadvantage, it says.
You got it.
Get knocked prone. While I look up the book to see if it has more information on that.
Well, the nat 20 is a pretty good one, but that's rolling at disadvantage, so 14.
Alright, that still beats my DC because it's only a 12.
Okay, so they are not knocked prone, but they are still being held and restrained by your magical chains. So cool.
Nice. Let me keep this card out so I remember that I'm concentrating on that. It's concentration way. Or total focus.
Yeah, total focus.
Focus. Alright, that's my turn. Pase la boca.
Right on. David, you're up next.
Okay. The two spectral turntables that always rest just an inch under David's fingertips begin twisting on their own as a sort of like get pumped sort of beat start playing out. And can I get a 30-foot aura on David?
You certainly can.
Because he is using his new Amplify ability. So everybody all allies, rather, within 30 feet of David gain an extra +1 on all attacks and saving throws.
Nice.
Oh. Nice. It's pretty awesome.
Okay, can you see the aura right there?
I can. Can everybody else?
Let me see.
Got a nice, kind of refreshing minty flavor.
Yeah, yeah.
I can't see the aura, actually. I cannot.
Oh no.
So it might only work for the people who can see your token. But that's okay, we can still see it.
I can see his token, there's just no aura around him.
Yeah, you should be able to. There should be a visible to everybody. Like who is this visible to? And you should be able to say all players.
Can everyone see it now? Okay, there we go.
Okay, and then he's gonna move up to here.
Okay, Loot Bunny's saying that it actually affects the squad within 120 feet. We improved it.
Is that... Are we gonna do that, or are we still using 2.2?
You know what? I'm gonna allow it, because why the hell not?
Fuck yeah! Do we even need an aura, or can we just say that this is always... Because it's literally quadruple this size.
I just low-key want to see it.
That is
a huge aura. Yeah. So I am going to take that off, but I just want to see let everyone see exactly how big this thing is. It encompasses everything. As long as you have that aura up, yeah.
I can fit like 6 blockbusters inside this thing.
You totally can.
Oh my gosh. You could fit even more of existing ones.
Okay, I took it off because that's just going to be distracting. But
I think it's cool, but that
okay.
might just be me.
So are we using 120 or are we using 30?
We are going to use the 120 just because it's affecting everyone. So tell us once more what everybody gets.
Everybody gets 1 plus reputation level, so just 1 at the moment. to all attacks and saving throws.
Nice. So everyone keep that in mind. You got attacks +1 to attacks and saving throws. Also, I did look up that spell path. The elemental change at the end of their turn, they may roll to resist magic to remove the effect. So it's at the end of their turn.
Okay.
But David, that was your action. Do you want to do anything else?
I moved forward 30, so that I'm a little bit closer. But other than that, no.
Fair enough.
Don't believe so. Yeah, because I don't want to quicken. Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, okay. Sounds good. Tilia, you're up next.
I am gonna... It's my character sheet. How far can it go again?
Here,
What
is it?
Yeah, what are you looking for?
Beam, 120 feet.
120 feet, yeah.
Entire map.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and shoot
Is
off
it 120 feet or is it 60 feet?
I don't know. On my character sheet it says 120. Am I wrong?
Here I'm
It
pretty close.
It was increased. It used to be 60 feet, but they increased it as well, I believe. Loot
Yeah,
Bunny, is that if you're still in chat, let us know. Beam is now 120 feet as well, I think, right?
Alright, cool.
But even still, 60 feet's pretty damn far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and shoot a beam off at this group over here. Like right in the center of them at the, trying to get the, sigil that's beneath them. That they're...
So you're shooting at the people standing in the sigil?
I'm gonna shoot at the sigil.
At the sigil itself. Now, I will remind you that they are standing within the sigil itself. All of them are standing in the middle of it. So, like, you can try to shoot the thing, but you also might hit them.
Are the people inside that? Those are the ghost hunting
Yes,
students, right?
correct.
Yeah.
Shit.
So
Okay.
despite their appearance as the delightful children from down the lane, they're not cloaked. They might be innocents in this.
Yeah. Oh shit.
I will remind you that I did describe that all of the students in the circle are look like they're in agony. Their eyes are rolled
That's
up.
what
They're
I'm trying to get rid of the
Oh.
sigil.
Put them out of their misery.
Well, no, I don't
No.
want to hit innocents. I just want to get rid of the thing that could be hurting them. Shit. Okay.
I mean, you can certainly try. I wasn't telling you couldn't. I was just reminding you that they are there and they are a valid target.
Reminding you of the danger.
Yeah, I know. All right. So then, I'm not gonna risk that this time. Which one was the ringleader with the dagger that said "get them"?
This one.
That was
the
that
one
guy
I
there.
The one that I currently have restrained.
Correct.
Okay. Then I'm going to beam them.
Yeah, beam them up, Scotty. Go ahead. Roll to attack.
Okay. Now, do I get advantage because they're restrained?
That's a good question.
That is actually a really good question.
Restrained condition do.
I'm going to say probably, I think, but then again, also ranged attacks. Like in 5e, it wouldn't give you advantage unless it was a melee attack, and this is a ranged spell attack. So I'm going to say probably not. You would not get advantage on that one. Now, if you're attacking them with melee, you would.
You have... I can't exactly melee attack him from the top of the ravine.
No, you could not.
No. Alright, let's give this a try.
Ah, here it is. So restrained. Your move is reduced to 0. You cannot cast spells or make attacks, or you cannot cast spells, and your attacks have disadvantage. You have disadvantage on rolls to resist physical or dex. If you're flying, you begin falling for 60 feet.
So yeah, it sounds like it's exactly like 5e restrained. So yes, against a ranged spell attack, you would not have advantage on the shot.
Okay, well, that's a 9.
Yeah, unfortunately, a 9 is not enough to hit him. You aim, and you try to get that shot off, and somehow he's still, he's unable to move, but the shot goes wide right over his head. But now that was your action. You still have a bonus action and some movement if you want to use it.
Yeah. I'm gonna try to get down the ravine, I guess.
Loot Bunny did respond to us about the beam. It is still 60 feet. It's not 120 feet like we thought. But that guy was in 160 feet, so you're fine. And then the other question we were asking is about the restrained Loot Bunny, but we figured it out. So is that it for you, Tilia?
Yeah, I was gonna try to make my way down to the bottom of the ravine.
Okay, now the ravine itself is only about 15 feet of a drop, so as a Magi-Knight, you can just jump that and land.
Awesome. Okay.
So getting down to there probably costs you about 20 feet of movement, but then you get right there.
20 feet of movement? Okay, So then I will take my other 10 feet and get over here. Bonus action. I don't know, just,
Wave high?
Yep. Yeah, I mean, you don't have to use it if you don't want to. You can quicken a spell, which would do, half damage it normally would, but still cost the same mana. So that you have that option, but if you don't want to do that right now, you certainly don't have to.
if I...
When you quicken a spell, it uses your bonus action. It costs the exact same amount of mana, but it only does half damage.
Yeah, no.
Okay, fair enough.
I'll just stay on my guard in case any of them try to rush me.
Cool. And while you're doing that and you're getting ready for the next attack, go ahead and roll for me a purity check.
Purity, oh god. 7.
Okay, good to know. That's it for Tilia's turn. So the next thing that happens is, as you're standing there, you hear a bit of a pop! And then from behind you, Tilia, something invisible lunges towards you. And I need you to roll to resist physical. So this is basically a strength saving throw.
Save. Oh, not one.
Oh.
Definitely a failure. From behind you, this swarm of ethereal-looking creatures, they're tiny, they're almost rat-like in appearance, just lunge onto you, swarming over your body, biting at your neck, your arms, your ankles, everything. It knocks you to the ground as it's doing this, and you take a total, let's see here. Okay, and then they immediately deal the damage to you. So these little tiny ethereal creatures swarm over you and pile onto your body. It drives you to the ground. You're knocked prone, and as they're biting you, you take 14 points of magic damage.
Hey, can I use my reaction to cast protection on myself?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
So what does protection do?
It... Shoot, wrong one. Okay, hang on. Or, not protection, barrier, I guess?
Okay.
It reduces the magical damage received from a source by 5, plus my Magi-Knight level, plus my magic ability modifier. So 5 plus 2 plus 2, I think.
Is that your modifier?
We're level 2, right?
Yeah, you're level 2.
Yeah, and then magic ability modifier is 2 because it's my... Is it wisdom?
It's whatever you use to cast your spells.
Yeah, I think it's wisdom, so that's plus 2.
Okay.
So I would reduce that by 9?
By 9, so instead you'd only take 5 points of damage, which is a lot better than 14.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so as they're biting onto you, you just throw up that barrier protecting you, and some of these rat-like creatures, the teeth don't seem to be, and the teeth and the claws don't seem to be getting at you as badly as they could have. You're like just holding this barrier up as these things just swarm all over you, trying to rip you apart. Okay. Next thing I need you to do, because the moment they appeared, I need everyone within 60 feet of them to roll to resist horror. So that would be... Jasmine, you aren't at an angle to see this, and neither is Daryl, but David, Iris, and Tilia, I need all 3 of you to roll to resist horror. Which that is, I can go ahead and tell you about that real quick. At least I could if I had that up. I just had it up a second ago. Okay, so basically you have to roll a D100, and I think it's your purity you add to it.
That sounds right.
Yeah, purity save.
Hey.
Nice.
What's the DC? What's the DC? Like 15?
25.
So we roll a D100, we add our level and our purity.
My purity is...
Yeah, Magi-Knight level and purity. So D100 plus 2 plus your purity.
So that is plus...
Okay, so 90 then.
Plus... Oh my gosh, I just barely failed.
Ugh. Yeah, that's harsh. With a 24, you have failed. So, you gain 1 stress point, and you have disadvantage on all checks and saves. Your move is reduced to 0. You cannot make attack actions. Attack rolls against you automatically succeed. You automatically fail any leadership checks.
Hey, is this I don't think it is, but is this considered a saving throw?
A purity. That's actually a good question. Loot Bunny, is a roll to resist horror considered a saving throw? Because David's spell actually would affect that.
It would give it the 1 point necessary.
It would, actually. So that's a very good question, whether or not... she says yes, it is.
All right.
Holy shit.
You got it.
God, holy crap.
David coming in clutch! Wow. So, although for a moment there, Iris, you were legitimately horrified by those things that are just swarming over Tilia, you managed to resist it thanks to David's calming, reassuring, magical presence. Yeah, thank goodness for Amplify, Luke Bunny's saying, and I agree.
That's hilarious.
It really is.
Really saved this.
You got a +1 to a D100 roll, and it made all the difference.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. That is absolutely crazy. But you know what? That's awesome. It worked. Well done. Well done. Okay, that is the Rune Vermin's turn. Next up, we got some a horde of cultists. Ah, man, oh man. So let's see what these guys are gonna do. Yeah, well, Iris, you're right up there on the ledge. They can definitely see you there. So, let's see here. Yeah, as a group, you see them rising up, and their hands begin to move upward and begin to weave a spell, and a little ball of fire starts to appear in each of their hands, and they shoot it.
Fireball.
They're literally casting a barrage of flames at you. And that's a 19 to hit.
Oh my gosh, you've got to be kidding me.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that does hit and does a total of 14 points of damage to you. These 4 fireballs go shooting out into the air, up, pelting you one after another. And you stumble back, burned all across your chest and front from these fireballs. Ouch.
Ow.
From there, they're going to move as a group. They have 30 feet of movement. They seem to have abandoned the spell that they're doing once the Acolyte of Wrath drew your attention. Also, I forgot to tell you this on your turn last, so I'll go ahead and tell you that now. When you got to the edge of the ravine cliff and looked down, you could see what's her name? Bianca. Bianca is frozen as well, standing stiff, like as though she's being held into place against the wall of the ravine, like just frozen. Her eyes are wide, her mouth is kind of slack a little bit. You also saw that there is another cultist, this one in purple robes, over here against the wall. He had been watching the entire proceeding, but once the Acolyte pointed you out, that one saw you as well. He's another one with a hood over his face.
Mm-hmm.
Just, I forgot to mention that earlier, so I wanted to make sure I did. I assume you're still up, Iris?
Yep, I'm still alive, despite their best intentions.
5, 10,
I've got 4
15,
HP.
20, 25, 30. So they moved about 30 feet more over towards you. Next up is another group of them. You're looking pretty damn hurt. They can also see David. They seem fairly confident of what's going on right now, so they're going to go ahead and move as well. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 feet to right over there. They can see you, David, so they're going to be doing the same barrage of flames at you.
Well, how dare they?
Does a 15 hit?
Probably. No, it does not.
Does not. Wow. These flames go shooting up towards you, and you see them in the last second, and you just throw yourself down and hunch, and they go shooting up over your head. Whew, you got lucky there. Okay. Next up, we have Daryl's turn. Daryl has heard all this commotion, seen fireballs go flying at his friends. I'm going to see what he can actually do real quick.
Great if he could do his sonic boom on these stupid rats.
Let's see here. Okay. Okay, with his movement, he's going to go running up past you, David, and jumps off the ledge. As he goes falling downward, he's going to try to make an attack with his rapier at the swarm of things that's currently swarming over Tilia.
All right.
Okay, here. Ugh! He rolled a natural 2, so that is definitely a failure.
Yikes.
Yeah, definitely a failure, unfortunately. From there, yeah, the only other thing he can do, I believe... I need to double check to make sure this is a action or bonus action. No, it's not. Okay, no, it is not. Yeah, he has. He only has. Let's see. He has transformation, barrier, and manipulate. So none of those are bonus actions. So that's really it for David, right? Or for Daryl right now. Jasmine, you're up next.
I'm
Okay,
Like,
so main
every time
plan.
I
Let's
down
do this.
stuff,
My time
unless
shines.
it's like 10.
I'm gonna move right about. Oh my god, if I can grab
Right, Boston?
and move right about here.
Do that.
And
That
then I'm gonna
ponytail,
beam the main group of cultists, like the big token. Gonna
I mean, it's
try to
fine.
beam
Uh,
that one.
So I'll remind you, the big token here, those are actually the school kids.
Ah! It looked a little evil, so I was like,
Yeah.
shoot him in the face, actually.
Are you gonna shoot the kids in the face? Go for it. I'm all for that.
Joking. Very joking. We don't know if they're evil quite yet. I'll plus it'd be awkward because I have to do a third period with those people.
How's it
Yeah.
going to be awkward if you kill them all?
Didn't Hitoshura powers were non-lethal? I feel
They
like-
are. They are.
Yeah, if I can't do a kill shot, might as well not. then I'm gonna get this young lady at the base of the mouth.
You talking about Bianca right here, or are you talking about the acolyte right there?
Bianca?
Because Bianca is just frozen against the wall.
So many people that need to. Okay, then I'll get the acolyte there.
I mean, you can shoot Bianca. I'm all for this. It's entirely up to you, my friend.
I'm aiming towards not shooting civilians.
Fair enough.
Don't.
Well, you can shoot that acolyte of wrath. The acolyte.
Friends with Bianca.
Yeah, I'm good. I mean, me and Bianca are cool. Me and Bianca are cool. We talked about how that slut stole their boyfriend.
Yeah, there's this group of cultists, and then this acolyte of evil
I'll
over
shoot the
here.
acolyte of wrath in the face. You know,
Yeah.
for the grass.
I think that's a good idea. You know, the acolyte is wrapped in those elemental chains and held in place right now. So this would be a good time to hit the dude.
Are you vegetarian now? Like, are you vegetarian?
Yeah.
Just,
Let me make sure what my spell tag modifier is.
I thought you went out and buy it. Or bought it.
Is 4.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, I thought you bought it.
Not next. Bam.
15 is gonna hit.
Thank
Sweet.
goodness.
Sweet eyes. Sweet eyes. And remind me what the new beam does again, because for me it still just says 2d6 plus 2d8.
It's 46.
Yeah, 46 now.
So it's good. I like me some pesto. Good for. It's good
After
for-
this campaign's over, the next one I do, we'll use the updated rules.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So just 4d6 instead of the 2 and 2?
Yes, just 46.
10.
10 points of damage, not too bad. Kind of weird that you did 4, 3, 2, 1, but why not?
Like, if you look at the
That is actually really uncanny.
the circle is like-
But yeah, you aim your beam and send that shooting out, smashing into the acolyte that's wrapped in chains, doing a significant amount of damage to them, but they are still alive and they are still up. You still have a bit of movement. No, actually, no, you used all your movement. You still have a bonus action if you'd like to use it.
Pesto pasta.
Not much I can do with the bonus action. Nobody's attacking me, so I'm not really gonna cast barrier
But if you
quite
don't
yet.
want to, I wouldn't put it in pasta.
I'm done.
Okay, fair enough. Next off, we have the acolyte's turn, who is literally just stuck there, frozen. They're unable to move, thanks to the chains of that spell. They're gonna have to try to roll to resist again. I just want to see if they have to do it at disadvantage or anything. Nope, at the end of their turn, they can roll to resist magic to remove the effect. So, end of their turn, they don't get to do anything else, they just get to roll.
There's the DC in case you forgot.
Wow, well that was a 19, natural 19 for a 23. Yeah, they definitely succeeded. You just see them focusing. You look at concentration on what little of their face they can actually see, or you can actually see, and suddenly the elemental chains just shatter. And they are free once again.
Yeah.
But hey, it held them off for a turn, so that's good. Okay, last in turn order. Bianca should not be in turn order. They're just frozen. Last in turn order is the Acolyte of the Eidolon. Let's see what cool things they can do. Okay. First thing they're going to do, They step out from the edge of where they were standing, just so they can see a little bit better, and you see them beginning to weave their hands about, and an orb of pure darkness forms in their hand. They saw that beam come out and hit the acolyte, so Jasmine, you are definitely a target here, and they're going to be throwing this at you. That should not have been an advantage, but 21 definitely is going to hit.
Alright.
Wow, something about this feels rude and disrespectful. I don't know what it
I love
is, but
you
I'll blame
guys.
misogyny somehow. I'll find a way.
Oh my gosh.
Hey, I support that for you. 6 points of dark elemental damage as this bolt of dark energy just slams into you, Jasmine. Then, as a bonus action, the acolyte pulls back its hood to reveal this odd sort of shimmering face. They have no real features. It seems to just glow and shimmer and reflect back the landscape around you, but then it seems to focus at you, Jasmine. And as you look into that face, it's a reflection back of your face. But this is dark and twisted, with black eyes and a mouth full of just dark sludge that seems to be pouring out of it. And I need you to make a roll to resist magic, please.
That's a D100 roll, correct?
No, it's a It's
a D20 saving throw.
Yeah, D20 saving throw plus your proficiency plus your the spellcasting modifier.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's wisdom, so that's... Okay. Hopefully I don't die. Do I get something for being in the auras? Or...
Yeah, you do get a +1 to the saving throw because of the aura. Mm.
Wow.
Why don't you tell us what lovely number that is?
It is a classy, an elegant 9.
And
1, so 10.
as that elegant 9, yeah,
Oh.
that's with a +1. For
Didn't make double digits. I tried. Sorry.
so here's what happens: your face begins to mirror the face that's being reflected at you. This dark sludge seems to start pouring up out of your mouth, and it's like just pouring out, dripping down your chin, and you grab at your face as your lips are sealed shut, other than these dribbles of dark fluid that seems to be pouring out, and you now have the silenced condition, as he turns you into a servant of silence.
Wow. That roll was bad.
Yeah, it was. Need to find a good silenced icon.
Do my spells require me to be able to talk?
Yes. That's the whole point of this ability.
You have to be able to call them out dramatically.
In my head, she was just making like a rifle shape and just shooting people and then freaking people.
Yeah, while you're shooting, you just say bang bang.
It'd be great if somebody's like beam was just like finger guns and pew 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 pew.
I think it's basically just her going like kickback and everything.
But yeah, so basically the silence condition means you're unable to cast spells. Okay. From that point, they're just going to step right around here and just kind of stay back behind this this ledge here. So none of y'all can really see him from that angle. But we're now at the top of the turn order, and I think this is actually a great place to take a break, because it is 8:30.
All right.
But once we get back, we will find out how this this combat continues, and whether or not our Magi-Knights are able to stand against these evil cultists that seem to be trying to hurt their school chums. Stay tuned, everybody.
Plot twist.
Okay, welcome back, everybody. Apparently my mic was really, really loud, so I've lowered it. So hopefully it's a little bit better. If not, Loot Buddy, let me know, and I'll lower it some more. But we are back, and it's the top of the turn order, so let's jump right on in.
Oh, shoot, that's right.
Yeah, Iris, you're up first. And, yeah, you're feeling a little jacked up right now, I feel like.
Just a little bit. Alright, so first off, I'm going to do Energy Surge Heal as a bonus action.
Okay.
And did I get... Wow, I got a 12. Jeez. That's pretty
Nice.
good.
Yeah, that's really good.
Almost undoes the turn that just happened against me. Almost.
Probably a good thing, too.
Yeah. And since I kind of want to help out Tilia, but I feel like I should try and take out these guys here. So
Divide and conquer.
I will do the smart thing and try and beam down on this little person down here. The
Acolyte?
Yeah, the Acolyte of Wrath.
Absolutely.
Invoking the arrow card, I shall cast Beam. Oh, with a 22 to hit!
Yeah, I think that might just hit.
Just maybe.
Are you sure? Can you double check?
And 14 damage.
14 damage. That's nice. Looks like Kira's saying that I'm still louder than the others, but it's better than what it was. I'm going to lower it just a bit more.
Alright. So, that's my turn. Pasa la boca.
Now, I will point out that you do still have a bonus action if you want to use that.
I used the bonus action to heal myself.
Oh, that's right, you do. My mistake. So, good thing is, with 14 points of damage, you smash into that guy, blowing him back. He gets knocked off his feet, and he drops to the ground, unconscious. He had exactly 14 hit points.
Alright, I'm actually going to move back 15 feet so I'm not as much of a target.
Valid. Very valid.
Sorry, Dasonie, I don't want to get hit. Now I will pass the turn.
Okay. David, you're up next, and Tilia's down there being swarmed, and Daryl's right down there next to him. What are you doing?
I will look through the rules for a second. I want to find something.
Awesome! It's a shame there wasn't 2 turns ahead of yours to do that. I'm just fucking with you.
Yeah, I know.
I'm just fucking with you.
You mean like 20 turns? There's a whole bunch of people.
Yeah, tons and tons of people.
This is a horde, right?
Yes, that is a horde.
I'm a explode it.
Probably a smart move. Okay.
Explosion.
So let's see if we can remember how explode works.
No, nobody knows.
Well, I didn't hit the number, so it does half damage.
Yep. You have to roll, I believe, a 15 to get full damage.
Yes.
Go ahead and roll that damage.
Is it plus? Yeah. Okay. And then if this is a 1, yeah, okay. 7 to each piece.
Okay. You focus down on the swarm of ethereal-looking creatures that had already been summoned. And you send that just wave of discordant energy out into the middle of it. It explodes in just this violent cacophony of sound, damaging each of the creatures quite a bit. Unfortunately, they are still alive.
That is quite unfortunate. Can I?
Well, hold on a sec. How does
Well, no, it's half. So it's
Yeah, it's half that.
4
So-
damage to each part.
Yeah, 4 points of damage.
And
Okay, that was your action.
can I do a regular and a rushed spell in the same turn?
I believe so, yeah. The whole point of the bonus action, you can do the second thing, but it does half the damage automatically.
Yeah.
Quickening spell, let's see here.
It's rushed spell.
Rush spell, not quickened. Yeah, rush spell. A beam, explosion, curing, or restoring spell can be turned into a rush spell and cast as a bonus action. The rush spell does total damage or healing by half, rounded down, and still uses the same points. So yes, you can do it again if you want to.
I am going to, because that was not a good thing. David's gonna try harder. He's gonna throw his all into this. He's gonna try and time it along with the beat that's already going out from Amplify. So I will be both rushing and overcharging this spell.
Nice. Okay. So to overcharge a spell, you take 2 exhaustion points to do so. But it does it adds a number of d10s equal to half your reputation level. So you basically just get an extra d10. But the 21 you just rolled is enough to do technically full damage. So go ahead and roll your damage. Add another d10, and then we half that. Ooh.
I guess it's not 16, it's 8.
It would be 8. But guess how much health these things had left?
8?
7. But yeah.
Oh, that's so unfortunate.
Yeah. I mean, it's unfortunate for them as the second wave of just discordant force explodes around them, hitting each one and sending it flying outward, and all of them just seem to dissipate. They land on the ground, and they just turn into smoke and mist that rises up and fizzles as their corporeal bodies dissolve into nothing but dust. They are all gone.
Cool. He's gonna come and slide down the path and kind of put himself right here by his allies.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, that's it for David's turn. Great turn for David right there. Don't forget to add your exhaustion points, though.
I did.
Awesome. Tilia, You're next. You are on the ground. You are lying prone, but the things that were on top of you, biting, and that you were holding off with that barrier, have just been exploded to nothing by David. Oh, and the gods seem to be looking down on you with favor, and you have a reroll from anesthetic.
Okay.
And you're muted.
I'm
now
muted?
I hear you. No, it just had a delay. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Just saying thanks, Nat. And so I'm gonna get up,
Okay, that's after movement.
brush myself off, and so what is my movement as speed 30? Okay. Duh, I should have figured that much. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Would my flashlight help give me more field of view, a greater field of view, vision?
Not like it'll make a beam of light. That's for sure. So you might be able to see some things. It's kind of up to you. Like you should be able to vaguely see a lot of the stuff that's out there.
I can. It's just the light that I have makes me a little night blind.
Yeah.
I
mean, if you want a beam of light, I can give you one.
It's okay. Which one is the acolyte that's was restrained? Was it that one or this one?
It was this one, the one that's been knocked unconscious.
Okay. Oh, they're already knocked unconscious. Okay,
correct.
Cool. And
you
then
can
you said
can
there
see
was
two
one...
hordes of cultists down towards the bottom of the map. There is another one out there somewhere. You have seen it, but it's hiding right now.
Cool. Okay. And then, what was this one again?
That's Bianca.
That's Bianca. Oh, she's frozen.
Yes.
And then the one in the purple is over here.
Yeah, that's the one you cannot see. You don't actually have line of sight on.
Not see. Okay.
So I'll just go ahead and move them off the map so you can't, because you
Sure.
can't see them right now.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to use my action to dash over to Bianca.
Okay.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is 30. And can I don't know, perform some sort of like, what are the abilities and does I? Okay, so I do still have a medicine check. Can I do a medicine check to see if there's anything I can do to kind of like snap her out of whatever?
Yeah, you can certainly try. Yeah, that would be a mysticism check, or a healing check. Like, are you trying to ascertain what's going on with her? Or are you just trying to force her out of it? What are you trying to do here?
I think figure out what's going on because I don't want to hurt her.
Well, you can use either of those roles, mysticism or medicine, to try to determine what's going on with her.
Okay. Let's do...
Oh,
23.
nice.
Yeah, very nice. You start examining her body. Like I said, she's rigid, like as though, like in D&D terms, if you had been cast hold person, she appears to be paralyzed. She's rigid. Her body is unable to move. Her eyes are like rolled back in her head. With that 23 medicine, you can tell that there's nothing wrong with her physically, but she is under the effects of some type of spell. And is being held in place.
I'm just gonna kind of whisper to her, Bianca, we're gonna try and help you, okay? Just hold on. And that's my turn, I guess.
Yeah, I guess that's your turn. Okay. Well, yeah, the rune vermin aren't there anymore, but there's a lot of cultists, and they just watch you go running up towards one of their quarries. So of course they're gonna shoot at you. So you watch as the horde of cultists turn towards you and begin weaving their hands together as they mutter in this odd sort of chant. 4 balls of flames come shooting out towards you. And that's a 22, so I assume that hits for 14 points of damage. Now, you still do have your barrier effect. You can cast that again if you want to.
Yeah.
To try to reduce that.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's do that.
Yep. Probably a smart move.
So that's what, -9?
Yeah, so it would be 5 points of damage instead of 14. Which is a lot better than what it could have been.
I'm still double digits, but barely.
And they seem to be moving as a group around, and they are starting to come towards David and Daryl over there. That's going to be their turn. We got one more group of cultists, unfortunately. Oh, wait a minute. I did the wrong group. That's okay. Because, yeah, Tilia, you are their target. You're right up there, and they don't like that you had rushed over towards their quarry. So another barrage of flames is shot at you.
What?
Holes.
I'm just rolling amazing with these guys. Heck yeah.
Can I use the inspiration I was given to make them reroll?
Yes, you can.
Okay, please. Oh my god!
Whew, you got lucky. These balls of fire come shooting towards you, and for a second you're like, oh fuck, I'm about to die. But then the favor that the gods seem to be looking, it's almost as though the Wanderer was sitting with you in that one moment, almost like the cat's on Hito's shoulder right there, and you just step back as those balls, you like do a matrix move as these balls of fire slam against the cliffside right behind you. But you're still alive.
Hey, Matt, I got a question for you about your channel.
Yes.
If I redeem the...
You
You're
can't-
not allowed to
Yep.
redeem on games that we play.
Yep.
Aw,
You can't
I was
redeem
gonna-
points on the game you're playing in.
That sucks. I was going to give you a turn right now to be really cool.
Yeah, that is my one rule. If you're playing in a game, I don't mind if you hang out and chat, but you cannot redeem points on the game you're playing in.
Okay. That's fair.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Next up, we have Daryl. I kind of regret not using his magical ability last turn.
Yeah, his explosion was pretty impressive that when he used it when we were in that alley.
Well, that's David who has that. Daryl does not.
No, I thought Daryl
No.
did a thing. Oh.
Daryl has Transformation, Barrier, and Manipulate. So he could have locked people down, but he can't lock down a horde.
Dang.
He can do his Barrier to reduce damage, but nobody shot at him yet because there's been bigger targets. So he's going to go ahead and use his action.
For our barriers, can we use them to protect someone other than ourselves, or is it just to protect ourselves?
I believe it's just yourself, but I might be wrong.
Okay.
Here, I'm
looking
So it's like
up.
shield. It's just
Uh,
a health thing.
barrier is
Or
you-
adjacent.
Adjacent.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you can do somebody that's within 5 feet of you.
Gotcha.
But good to know. I think what Daryl is going to do, he's going to go ahead and cast Transformation on himself. So he just runs his hand along the blade, and as he does, it seems to, like, glimmer with the elemental energy, which I honestly don't remember what Daryl's element is. Air. So it glows with this light blue energy and seems to vibrate a little bit. That was his action to do this. But he still has it up, at least, which is a good thing. He is then going to move, and since he really hasn't been hit very much, he's going to present himself as a target. He's going to move 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 feet to right here. And he's going to, like, present himself to this horde like, come on, I got this. That was a bad Daryl voice, but okay. But his damage is pretty good. Now he gets to roll 3d4. Okay, that's it for Daryl's turn. Jasmine, you're up there on the cliff. Oh, as Loot Bunny said, as he charges in, he says, "Is Lacey watching this?" From Loot Bunny. I'm going to say, yeah, that's canon. He's going to run, and he's yelling with his blade up, "Is Lacey seeing this?"
Witness me!
Witness me!
Jasmine's gonna look at like the cultist who just beamed her, and she can't talk, but she wants to say, "Kill me, actually."
Yeah, I imagine that's going through everyone's minds right now. But what do you want to do?
What am I gonna do? That's a good question. I can't speak, so I can't cast a spell.
Nope.
You know. Okay, how far are these? Okay, I can jump 15 feet, so it's down here. Okay, first I'm gonna jump down here. Then
Yeah, you could probably only move about 10 more feet after that.
yeah, the most I can do is try to use. But do I need to speak to use my magical weapon, or can I just like?
So, to use the weapon itself, no. But there's nobody within 5 feet of you.
Is the wand only 5 feet?
Yeah.
Drag me, actually. Well, then I'm just gonna run there and look irritated at the cultist.
Yeah, unfortunately, there's not much you can do while you're silenced unless you had like there's like shards of power. There's shards of power that can remove that. There's magical spells that can remove that. But other than that, the only other option is really killing the guy that cast it on you.
Throw the wand.
Yeah,
like-
you could always throw the. Yeah.
Do you like my
like,
band conductor? He
I was
would
gonna-
throw his batons at us. He stabbed it right through sheet music once.
oh yeah,
So we
The
got him
headband.
markers instead.
the headband that has the dream on it is what I flavored as the wand. So like, can I just Princess like Diana, fully like Wonder Woman tiara throw?
So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to allow you to throw your tiara at this dude. You do not get to add your proficiency to it. It's just going to be it's just a d20 plus your dex.
Oh god, that's fine.
Because it's not meant to be used that way, but it's always possible. Like I've in real world thrown a freaking sword at somebody before and actually got it in. So
You stabbed someone, Matthew?
18.
I used to do fight club shit. Don't worry about it. Anyway,
I love that.
You talked about it. How dare you?
18 is definitely still gonna hit.
Isn't it like a D4 damage?
It's a
Yeah.
D4, yeah, it's not much. But add your dexterity modifier to it, because I'm gonna say, fuck yeah, you yeeted that Sailor Moon tiara.
Don't steal my joke.
Four
How dare
damage.
you?
Oh, wait, that was 3 damage.
Yeah, 3 damage. You throw your tiara at him, the guy, just as he's like looking over, and ping! Right in the guy's head.
Does it come back, or do I have to go get it?
You gotta go get it. It landed on the ground. Like, it just dropped to his feet, and he's like rubbing his head and kind of looks down at it. But it did hit, and it did do damage.
She just flips off the cultist.
Like black sludge is just dripping from the edges of your mouth, and you just flicker off. I love it. Okay, that's it for Jasmine's turn. Next, we got a pretty pissy Acolyte of the Wrath who's seen some shit. They're going to step around to be able to see. And you see that guy pop up around the edge of the cliff face right there.
That's all I got.
Okay. Well, it is the Acolyte of it's the Acolyte of Wrath is dead, so it's the Acolyte of the Eidolon's turn, who is pretty damn pissed off and steps around that cliff face. And God, Tilia, you're just always the first person that these enemies can see for some reason. Sorry, not sorry. Shadow Bolt. That's a 20 to hit. Hey, you know what? This isn't nearly as bad of damage. It's only 3 points of dark energy that slams against you, knocking you to one side a little bit there, Tilia.
Oh.
But,
Does that mean I have line of sight on him now?
you do have line of sight on him at the moment. However, he pulls back his hood as well at you. And I need you to make a purity saving throw.
Is that the D100 one?
No, it's just a
not
purity
D20.
Yeah, D20 plus your purity.
Okay.
Oh, wait a minute. No, I'm reading the wrong... Yeah, it is this one. Sorry.
So, D20 or D100?
It's the D20.
Okay. Oh! 20, 18.
Whoo! Yeah, that's enough. That reflective face focuses on you, and you're trying to fight against it for a moment, but you're able to push past, and whatever was about to happen to you does not. Thank God. And he pulls back his hood, and he's like, "Damn you all! Damn you all to hell!"
Oh, jeez.
And then he goes back and hides.
What a brave soul.
Wait, wasn't the Acolyte of Wrath one who, like, deafened me?
Right?
Yep.
They're dead, so wouldn't that effect be over?
What's that?
Wouldn't
Isn't the Acolyte
Jasmine's
of Wrath-
silent effect be over if the Acolyte of Wrath is gone?
No, it wasn't the Acolyte of Wrath that did it. It was the Eidolon that did it.
Oh.
That's why he's hiding. But top of the turn order, Iris.
Alright. So, I can't seem to find the rules anywhere in the book. I've been searching this entire time. What are the rules for, like, doubling your movement if you need to? Is that an action?
It's an action. It's an action to dash.
Okay, just wanted to double check. I was pretty sure, but I couldn't find it anywhere in the book. So, thought I'd ask. Alright. So I will do that. I will dash over by Tilia.
Yeah, you go running and jump and just kind of soar through the air, gliding downward a little bit until you get right there next to Tilia.
Alright. And then I will... I don't think I have anything that I can do as a bonus action, so...
You can quicken the beam spell if you wanted to.
Purple bastard, or do you want to try and figure out how to get rid of the sigil?
I could probably do that. Can I make a mysticism check against the sigil?
Certainly you can. You're focusing towards the sigil, grabbing your soul crystal, and trying to focus at it, hoping to disrupt whatever it is that's holding them in place. Go for it.
Alright. I invoke the dark card in order to understand dark magic.
Love it.
Alright. That is a solid 11.
Yeah, unfortunately with 11, you're focusing on with your soul crystal reaching out. You can feel that magical barrier surrounding them and holding them in place that seems to be attempting to corrupt them and twist them, but an 11 is not enough to break the spell's hold.
Alright. Well, that's my turn. I tried.
Well, solid effort. Solid effort. David, you're up next.
Okay, David is going to move right over to here to be next to his friends again.
Okay.
And like, I don't technically have a light on him, but are these guys visible?
Which guys?
The other horde down at the bottom.
You can vaguely see them.
Targetable.
Yes, they are targetable. I haven't been holding your group too much to effects of the lighting because there is a full moon. It is slightly light out. It's not like pitch black like a cave or something like that. So I'm not giving you too much of a penalty here.
Okay. So yeah, I'm gonna move up next to my allies. Jasmine, if you stay within 5 feet of me, I can help protect you.
I love that idea. Me not dying.
And I'm going to explosion this group over here.
Explosion.
Yes, like it. God, what is her Megumi?
Megumi, yeah.
Megumi. Yeah. What? It's an 18. Is that good or is that bad?
That is good. As 15 with explosion, 15 or above is good.
Nice.
Okay. For some reason, all of them are connected. I don't know why.
I've been forgetting the emboldened bonus on all my stuff.
Uh-oh.
Oh well.
Go ahead and roll your damage.
It would not have mattered last time. So 7 to each piece of the horde.
Yeah, 7 to each piece of the horde, which is actually exactly how many hit points each one had. So you send that discordant energy shooting out, it explodes, and each of the cultists within it just grab their heads and scream in pain before dropping to the ground unconscious.
Well then, that took one less action than I thought. I guess I'm just gonna do it to these other ones too. Like have that force just like come down
Again.
atop the middle of this group. I thought I was gonna have to use both to do that. So I will rushed action another explosion.
Food.
Oh man.
Yeah, that's going to be full damage. Well, half damage because,
Yeah. So 4 to each piece of this.
You want a piece of this for? Which one was the one that Dasonie threw her tiara at?
That was the first one. This one right here, which that guy actually goes down.
Nice, way to go.
You know what? Wonder Woman maneuver always works.
Is that what that's from?
That's where I was pulling it from because her tiara is sharp.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I was going Sailor Moon, but
I feel like this is where I'm. Listen, this is where we diverge for our nerd knowledge.
But yeah, big explosions from David. One group goes down completely. The other one hurt, but still up.
When did David get hot all of a sudden?
David has never been hot. Don't.
But that's it for David.
14.
15, I think.
Correct.
Yeah, 15.
I don't
He's-
know.
Now he's skipped a grade.
One year younger than the group.
Yeah.
We're
I
like
have
16, 7.
I'll say I have 15 on my thing, but
Yeah, that's what I remember.
Still,
But hey, Tilia, your turn's next.
Mm-hmm.
You're standing there next to Iris and poor Bianca that just seems frozen in place.
Yeah. I'm going to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I would like to try to 5. To see is the sigil thingy, is it like something that's like painted on the ground, or is it like just completely magical kind of thing?
Make an investigation check.
Okay. 10.
It's really hard to tell because like the glowing comes from the ground upward, and you can see like the glowing sigil, all the runes and all the symbols and whatnot. But it almost looks as though it was carved into the ground itself.
Okay. No, I don't want to risk hurting them. From this angle, can I see the purple people eater?
You cannot. He is not within your eye view.
Where is he?
Over
Actually,
here somewhere.
Yeah, that's where I remember him being, but I don't see him. It's so weird.
Yeah, it's because Matt keeps sending him to the DM layer, so we can't see him anymore.
He keeps going to the Shadow Realm.
Dun, dun.
Like, you know he's around there somewhere, but you can't quite see him from the angle you're at.
Yeah, and I don't have...
It's like that's your...
Yeah.
That right there is your line of sight. It's dark. It's the shadows. What can you do? But what do you want to do?
Put him down.
There is still the horde over there by Daryl, Jasmine, and David.
No, I'm gonna try and take out this sigil. So, now that I'm much closer, I'm hoping that I can like really try and focus my beam on like a portion of the sigil, just so that I can like disrupt it, but
Yeah.
without hitting the kids.
Well, you can always try. Go ahead and roll your beam attack. How much magic you got left, by the way?
1.
1. So
I've got 1 use.
you can do it one more time. Okay,
Yeah.
got it. So
I got
you're
3 mana
aiming.
points.
You're aiming down. You're trying to cup your hands and really focus to blast that sigil.
Concentrate it.
Yeah. Go ahead and make an attack roll.
can do it too.
Roll a 12. I just went a 12.
We believe in you.
Ah!
You're the baddest bitch out.
No.
No, I was looking for a 12. It wasn't going to be a hard DC, but it's a bit harder than you can do. You aim and you fire, and like you're trying to keep it back.
Both times with my beam.
I know, it's crazy, right? Like you're trying to you're more worried about hitting your classmates, and so your aim is off. You're like overcompensating, and it hits between your feet and the sigil, but it seems to have no effect.
My bonus action, can I just take my staff and like try to like the sigil?
Yeah, you absolutely can. You hit the sigil on the ground with your staff, and it hits. Doesn't do anything, but it hits.
Damn it. Well, that's it. Movement action, bonus action.
Okay. Well, now we have the cultist turn, the cultist horde. Yeah, they're not looking the greatest in the world, but they're okay. They're right up there next to Daryl, so I guess Daryl is going to go ahead and get this attack. I need Daryl to make a dexterity saving throw for me, which I got to do myself, so I got to look to see what it is.
What if it just went home, though?
Ugh. That is a 10, which is a failure. So, they all pull out knives and start stabbing at Daryl. The moment they begin to do so, he throws up his barrier. Now, normally a barrier only blocks 5 points of damage from normal attacks, not magical attacks. But the attack it did only did 6 points of damage. So Daryl only takes 1 point of damage. All these stabs are coming down at him. You know, like, but only one of them make it past the barrier and barely cut Daryl on the arm. So he only takes 1 point of damage.
Good, that's good.
Oh, does barrier not reduce magical damage anymore?
No, it does.
It does.
He's not being attacked magically.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Correct. But still, it's only 1 point of damage. It's not that bad. Okay, that's it for their turn. And in response, now that Daryl is right there and has his elemental weapon, he is going to make an attack.
Do it, Daryl.
18, that's definitely going to hit. Points of damage. Very nice. He slashes with that air-enhanced weapon, slicing through one of the cultists and just decimates him. The slash goes across his chest, burns with that brilliant air energy, and a second of the horde drops to the ground unconscious.
That was for you, oatmeal girl.
Lacey, this is for you! Jasmine, you're up next.
First, I'm gonna go awkwardly pick up my fucking tiara.
You just walk up, damn it.
Excuse me, pardon me. Then I'm gonna walk back to where I want to throw that at another person.
Okay, so I will remind you that you had to step forward 5 feet to pick up the tiara because it was like on the ground at the guy's feet. Now,
Oh yeah, I understand. I understand that the opportunity attack is probably coming.
yes, it is. So what I need for you is to make a dexterity saving throw.
Listen, I'm doing this because it's funny. Gotta do.
You could probably
Oh,
just
shit.
make a melee weapon attack against the one you're next to with your staff.
I also
Yeah,
realized
that's not
that.
funny.
Yeah, I also realized I did the math wrong. So Daryl took 3 points of damage, not 1.
Yeah, I'll stab him there. No, don't move. I won't move back.
So you're just gonna move 5 feet forward, grab up your tiara, and then try to hit him?
Yeah, just smack him upside the head with it.
Yeah, go for it.
Woman with classic elegant.
Make your attack roll. Yeah,
That's a 20.
20 is definitely gonna hit.
Two.
A strong 2 damage.
Yeah, it just says 2 plus. Or
Isn't it
I don't
1d4
think-
plus
It says
either
1d4.
your dex or your strength?
It's
Oh,
strength.
that's the roll 20. Yeah.
It's strength. So
yeah. So what's your strength modifier?
Throwing it was actually better for me. That's a 1 damage.
So 1 point of damage. You
Your
reach out
strength is
and
negative?
smack.
Yes.
Oh, shit!
She's just been gaslighting people into thinking she's more powerful than she is this entire time.
Oh no!
The intimidation checks have been backed up by nothing.
Yeah, they really have. You pick up that tiara and just like backhand him with it as you're rising up, and it clocks the dude across the chin, but he only takes 1 point of damage. Is that it for your turn?
Shoulders, like, I'm gonna cast barrier on myself just in case it's distressing.
Well, I'll remind you, barrier is a reaction.
So you can wait until someone attacks you to cast it.
Yeah.
That's gonna be my turn. She's just gonna shrug and be like, well, not much I can do about that.
Okay, next up is the Eidolon, who steps forward 5, 10, 15 feet to right there. Let's see. I'm going to roll a d4, because Tilia and Iris have both presented themselves as targets. So 1 and 2 Tilia, 3 and 4 Iris.
Do I
What?
notice his? Do I notice him coming up or?
Yeah, you do see them stepping up around from the corner there. Do you have something you can react with?
No, not necessarily, but I will try and go like, "Hey, you! What do you think you're doing?"
Okay, well, I rolled a 2, so Tilia's definitely the target.
I tried. I'm sorry, I don't have any reactions.
I don't have any mana to have reactions anymore, so...
Okay, well, first thing is first, and that's going to be a ball of shadow, a shadow bolt shot at you, Tilia. That's a 15 to hit.
No, it misses!
It misses. Wow, you have a 16 AC. Nice. Very
That's Magi-Knight anyway.
Yeah, great. No, that's great. So the shot goes wide. It flies towards you. You notice it out the corner of your eye. You duck down just as it goes flying past you. Iris, since you are calling out, he then turns to you, and you see that that harrowing reflection pointed towards you. I'm going to need you to make me a purity saving throw as the mass begins to coalesce and churn with this odd, enigmatic, and colorful vortexes all across his face. You're muted. We can't hear you.
Oh, sorry. So, my program is frozen right now. My computer is frozen. So, should I just roll a regular d20, or should I try and connect this on this device?
Yeah, just go ahead and roll a d20 and add your purity.
All right, cool.
I'll trust you.
All right, so it's a 14 plus my wisdom, because it's a
Purity.
purity. So that's a solid 15.
Yeah, 15 is enough. You see these swirls and patterns, almost like Rorschach's mask, and it's like it starts messing with your mind. But then you focus and you rely on that purity that's within your soul, and you're able to push it back and resist the effect.
Nice.
Instead of seeing some like dark things, you see a butterfly.
Exactly.
You're just like, oh, that's cute.
That's awfully cute. I appreciate butterflies.
You then see him stepping backward, Iris, and you lose sight of him.
Cute.
He's actually underneath
All right.
the bridge right there, just kind of hiding in the shadows.
Gotta be able to roll to see if you can spot him. Unless he can, like, melt into the shadows, which, like, would be terrifying.
Well, Iris, what are you wanting to do?
All right. So, shoot. I was thinking I would just walk up, and this device does not remember the password to my Roll20.
Tell me what you're wanting to do, and I'll just move you.
Okay, so I'm going to try and make another mysticism check to break the magic circle.
Okay, so you are going to have to move up about 5, 10, about 25 feet to do so, but you go heading over towards the circle, standing right
that.
next to Tilia.
All right, I'll make sure that I'm between Tilia and where the guy keeps popping out of.
Okay, I did place you right there, so you're right next to Tilia, between you and the corner where the thing was.
All right, awesome.
Go ahead and make a mysticism check for me.
All right, I'll just roll this here d20. That is an 18. Wow, goodness gracious, this is a good dice.
Wow.
That is an 18 plus my mysticism is intelligence plus proficiency. That's a 22.
22. Wow. You focus down on the sigil and focusing your magical power that's connected to your soul crystal, and you can feel it. You can feel the barrier there, twisting and warping these students' minds, and you feel a small, almost like an imperfection. You focus your energy towards that, and you feel it begin to crack, almost like imagine a glass bottle that had gotten really, really cold and then really, really hot all at once, and you just see these splinter-like cracks beginning to form along the barrier. That is one success.
Oh no. That's one. Alright, well, unless I can do that again.
You do still have a bonus action, and if you want to use your full turn, I will allow a second mysticism check.
All right. Let's see if we can tempt fate with another one. Do I have any minus since it's a bonus action?
No.
All right.
For a bonus action, the DC is just higher.
Okay, well, I definitely didn't. I rolled a solid 6 plus 5. That's a total of 11.
Yeah, with all the fractures, it's hard to find a good place to focus your energy, and you can still feel the swirling energy around these students, but you're unable to penetrate any of those cracks, so that is a failure.
All right, cool. Pass la boca.
Okay, next up is David.
Hey, you guys got this, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
they got it.
Okay,
Oh, shoot,
good.
I do.
Cool. David is going to... I guess I can't get that far. It's fine. He's gonna come straight up this way
Okay.
and end his turn.
Fair enough. You go running across the field of battle, jumping over the unconscious acolyte on the ground, and skid to a halt there next to Iris.
You guys,
Purple Asshole's over there.
You do still have a...
what it is?
Go ahead.
Have you guys figured out what that is? The sigil?
We're working on it.
Yeah, working on it. It's somehow changing them evil or something. But I've made a crack in it.
That's not good. You guys keep at it. I'm gonna go find the other guy, and I am out of movement.
You do still technically have a bonus action.
I do, but unless I want to just kind of explode like a place without really targeting anything, I can't do anything with it.
There are still 2 people in a horde over here, just saying.
There are, and I totally could have quickened an explosion before running away. But David's kill count so far this game is 9, so I'm leaving some for other people.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Well, Tilia, you're up next.
I'm out of spells, so I guess I'll just focus on trying to figure out this sigil like Iris.
Mysticism check for me.
Okay, mysticism. 23.
23. Okay. You focus towards the sigil, grabbing onto your
Wait,
soul
was that
crystal.
a nat 20? That's a nat 20.
It is. It is a nat 20. You're focusing your crystal at just reaching outward with your magic against this barrier. You're feeling the swirling, the corruption, the invading of these students' minds. And then there's a glimmer. One of the cracks is sparkling just a little more than the other. And you focus your magic in on that. And it's almost like you're grabbing the cracks with 2 magical hands and pulling it apart. And in that 20, I'm calling 2 successes. So with 3 successes, you rip apart this barrier. And when you do, the lights seem to flash and flicker and glow brighter and then diminish and glow brighter and diminish as it's blinking in and outward until it just explodes away in shards of magical energy that seem to just rain down around you all. And each one of the 5 students that were standing in that portal, just you see their eyes drop down Their mouths seem to close and they kind of wobble. One or two of them hold their head as they all just drop to the ground. And they are unconscious at your feet.
Okay, and then I'm gonna turn and yes, baby, hello. I'm gonna turn and look at Bianca. Is she still frozen?
She is still frozen.
Shit. Okay.
Still got movement and bonus action.
Movement. I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'm gonna try to tuck myself
Against
behind the rock.
Okay, I like it.
Yeah, and like use my bonus action to kind of like.
Well, next up is what's left of the cultist horde. They're going to go ahead and make attack against you, Jasmine. So, Jasmine, I'm going to need you to make a dexterity saving throw as all these or at least there's only 2 of them now, 2 daggers come slashing at you, doing that kind of thing.
Jeez.
Remember, you're
I'd
still
like to
within
say
David. You're still within David's aura. Is
Yes,
that
you are.
still
So
up?
you do get a plus one.
I would like to say that the other guy did more damage than me. I don't know why they were trying to kill him. I hit a dude with a tiara. Pretty ineffectively.
They smell weakness
It's
and
the
they go for it.
insult of it.
Yeah.
The insult of it all.
I got a 9.
Well, that is a wonderful 9, and you are unable to defend against this. You see the knives come slashing at you, but Daryl is within 5 feet of you,
Yeah.
and he casts Barrier at the last minute, and they would have done 5 points of damage, but the Barrier deflects 5 points of damage.
Well, love that for me. Still haven't died. The streak continues.
I think we're doing pretty good this fight.
Yeah, you are. You absolutely are.
Pretty
I
okay.
I can't fight that because I decided to build a spellcasting character and I can't cast spells.
Well, it's
I know
Daryl's.
it's hard when we have such limited mana.
Yeah, that's true.
I also can't talk.
You also can't talk or do anything. Yeah.
Shit.
Daryl's going to move around you. That way he has a much clearer attack at the people next to you while still keeping you within that 5 feet to protect you, Jasmine. He's going to go ahead and make an attack.
I'm gonna take a step back. Wait, I'm still in 5 feet. So
Yeah, you really can't right now. It's not your turn. You can do that next.
Okay.
Unfortunately, a nat 1 from Daryl. He slashes but misses completely. So that's it for his turn. But now, Jasmine, it's your turn. So if you want to move back or do whatever, you can.
Attacks of opportunity. Are those still a thing?
That is definitely a thing.
Ugh.
So, Jasmine, it is your turn. What are you wanting to do?
My dexterity is better, so throwing the tiara. It probably hit. But I also am at 5 health, and I'll risk it. I'll take 10 steps back to throw it again.
Okay.
Risk it for the biscuit.
Yeah, so as you do that, go ahead and give me another dexterity saving throw.
That's a 5.
Yeah, unfortunately, Daryl does not have enough mana to protect you. He's run out.
Oh,
And he's already used his reaction.
Well, it was just his turn.
Oh,
But he's used all of his mana, so 5 points of damage to you,
if
Jasmine.
I asked to use barrier, would it be enough just a second?
So, if you have barrier and well, no, you can't because you're silenced. You cannot cast a spell.
Could I supercharge and tear?
Unfortunately, no. With the fact that you're silenced, you have no real way to defend against this. So they slash out at you, doing 5 points of damage, which is enough to take you out, Jasmine. But as like those blades come flying at you and slash across you, and you feel your body starting to drift backwards as your soul crystal shatters, or not shatters, cracks. And so now you have one fracture of your crystal. However, time seems to slow. And you hear the Wanderer's voice in your mind saying, Jasmine, if you use your power right now, you can save yourself. You can stay alive. It's gonna damage your soul crystal, but it'll keep you up.
If I go down, will I wake up later without the crack?
Not really, no.
Only if you sleep all the way through.
I guess fine, whatever. Can I talk if I wake up?
Okay. So, you can, unfortunately, no. But in your mind, you tell the Wanderer, yes, I want to live. And your soul crystal fractures a second time, but you feel a surge of energy. And you are still alive with 1 hit point. You did manage to move backwards, so you can move. You can still use your movement, but that's going to be your turn.
I would like to know for the record, she was pretty indifferent about coming back to life with the Iran. She's like, yeah, I guess.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. But you are able to move back at least 10 feet, and that's really your turn. Bottom of the order, this guy who's been hiding steps forward about 10 feet to right there. And those of you are, David and Iris, you can at least see him a little bit. He focuses towards you, Iris, because you're the one right there next to the no longer glowing sigil and the bodies of the students on the ground. As his action, he's gonna throw a spell at you.
I'm gonna throw a spell at you.
That's a 17 to hit.
Beats it.
Yes, it does. So, you take a total of 4 points of dark energy as this ball of shadows slams against your chest.
Except
Yeah?
incorrect.
What?
Because I am within 5 feet.
You are.
And I have the refraction combat form.
Okay, tell us how this works.
Where it's about to impact, a convex barrier will appear like right in that spot for just a second, made out of the sky itself, as this beam just like goes into it and disappears completely.
Nice.
Meanwhile, David himself kind of grunts and hits back a little bit as he takes the damage instead. Well, he will take. Well, maybe I have to actually roll for this. Yes, he takes all 4 of it.
Mm-hmm. So you intercepted that bolt of dark energy, protecting Iris from it. Well done.
That was nice.
Yeah.
The acolyte grins and he says, "You fools! You will never stand up against reality." And he turns.
Yeah, we will.
And he runs into the shadows and seems to disappear completely.
Can I speak again?
No, you can't. That's it for his turn.
All right. Does that make it my turn?
It is your turn, Iris. What would you like to do?
Going to do the only smart thing. I'm gonna run after him. I'm going to make a full-on dash. Going. Actually, how? That's 50 feet. That's 60 feet right there. But I'm assuming he went this way.
You assume so. You use your movement and your action to get to there. I will allow you to use your bonus action to try to see if you can find him with a perception check.
Alright. That is a nat 20.
Yes, you definitely see this individual. He is crouching in the shadows, hidden behind some rubble, and you can see him right here.
Alright. I'm going to try and pretend like I haven't spotted him yet.
Fair enough.
And that will be my turn. We'll keep looking around.
That's your turn. You're just pretending to, as though you don't see him. Go ahead and give me a deception check.
This is going to be hilarious. Oh, that's not terrible. With a
No.
-2, no less.
No, that's actually a pretty good. You're acting pretty well. You're looking everywhere but where that dude is. But yeah, he's sitting there crouching there, hiding in the shadows. David, it's now your turn.
Do we know? We don't know where this guy's at. He's not on the map.
It's like right here.
Okay.
Like,
You don't know that.
You don't know that, but Iris
Right.
is pointing. Iris, are you breaking that deception?
I mean, if you want to go after him, I'll be like...
I mean, I'm gonna take 30. Whoop. 30 over to here,
Uh huh.
and if I can see.
Well, I will allow you as well to make a perception check as a bonus action to see if you can see this dude.
Does he have an advantage if I'm pointing him out?
Are you actively pointing him out? Because you said you're being deceptive.
Well, now there's somebody who might actually be targeting him, so... I was doing that thinking David would probably go back and help the other guys, but since he's actually going to attack him, I'm just going to be like...
They
Right.
said they're fine.
He's right there!
Okay, yeah, Iris is pointing in that direction. The DC is going to be lower because of Iris pointing.
Is it a
6 low?
It's not a 6 low, unfortunately. You're pointing in that direction, but like David, you look in that direction, and all you see is shadows.
This must be how my mom feels. It's just like, look where I'm pointing.
Yeah, no, it's exactly this. Like, where he's looking like 2 feet to the left.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
The worst.
Yeah.
But you cannot see that motherfucker.
Transformation take total focus or no? I have forgotten.
Transformation does take total focus.
Yes, it does.
Okay, alright, then I will not do that. I'm keeping my... I'm focusing on Amplify.
Okay. Oh, yeah. That's
Okay,
a good
yeah.
thing. That saved my butt, so you do that.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
keep that amplify. You do still have your action if you want to use it.
I don't... Yeah, I guess I can run in the direction of points. I'm gonna fucking smack into him, aren't I?
Maybe.
I don't know. Are you?
Yeah. No, okay, so this is how this works. I didn't see him, but you're pointing in that direction, so I'm like, all right, I guess he's this way somewhere. Well, I guess
Yeah.
I guess he'd more try to go here because he's gonna go like up. Around.
Well, as you're running in that direction, there's a shadow there that, like, you're just running and suddenly, boom, you trip. Make a dexterity saving throw.
Oh no! My weakness.
My weakness, dexterity saving throws.
Although,
Oh!
Nat 20, yeah, you kick something and go stumbling forward about 5 feet. But once you do, you look back, and there is that cultist on the ground, huddled in his robes, that, like, you just thought was a shadow.
what?
You literally put your token on his token!
That's fantastic. I could. Okay, here's the thing. I act like me, like Justin, thought he was here.
Yeah,
Like-
yeah.
Like, not gonna lie.
No, that was great. That was so apropos. I loved it. You tripped and stumbled, but you managed to catch yourself. And there, sitting next to you, like huddled down, is that cultist. And he just looks up at you, and you look down at him. And there's that moment of, oh.
What?
Tilia!
And that's it. That's the end of the statement.
Yeah. What you up to, Tilia?
It's so hard because I don't have any mana.
You're out of mana.
Yep.
Where is the... Okay.
Have you
I guess
used
I don't
your?
my-
Have you used your energy surge yet?
Oh yeah.
Energy surge?
That
Yes,
is a
as a-
thing.
What
As
about
a-
this?
As
Yeah,
a
you got
bonus
it.
action, you can either heal yourself, get rid of exhaustion, or give yourself 1d4 plus 4 MP.
Yeah, you got energy surge for hitting level 2.
Yeah.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then I'm gonna...
It's a bonus action.
I'm gonna come back this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Go over here, 5, 6. So I'm near Bianca, and I'm gonna use bonus action to use my energy surge to give myself more mana points. So you said it was 1d4
Plus 4. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, plus your magic ability modifier plus level.
So that's probably
My-
2.
So actually, I think yours was 2, so it would be +3.
+3?
Well, it's
Yeah.
your
4.
level, so it's 2, 2.
Oh, 2, 2. So
okay.
yeah, it would be
Plus
4.
Okay. 1d4
You're right.
+4. Hey, 7!
Hey, that's pretty good.
You just healed 7 mana points.
You are no
Okay.
longer Ohm.
So then, I'm gonna go ahead and use my beam to try and hit these guys over here.
Probably a good idea.
Now hopefully I can, hit higher than a 7.
Hopefully.
I was hoping 12. Does 12 hit?
Good question, actually.
12 hit a horde?
Unfortunately, no.
Dang it!
12 does not hit them. You shoot your beam, it goes wide over Daryl's head and over the cultist's head. But hey, at least you were able to shoot your shot.
That's 3 now. That's 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was movement action and bonus action. I'm done.
Okay. It was a valid try, but no. Now, Daryl's the only one in front of these cultists, so he's got to make his dexterity saving throw because they're attacking him with their atham, the blades. Yeah, 21's definitely gonna miss. All of those cultists are slashing at Daryl with their blades, and he's just like dodging back. Like he parries one with his sword, he dodges the other, easily able to defend against that. Now it's his turn, and he's gonna make his attack with his rapier. What the fuck?
Oh!
Was that good or bad?
He rolled a nat 1, so he definitely missed. Jasmine, your turn.
I'm gonna throw the tiara at the cultist.
Yeah, throw the tiara. D20 plus your dex.
I love that.
19.
I love that this has hit more times than Beam.
Right?
I know, right?
Yeah, Silent Jasmine just throwing her tiara, it manages to hit yet another cultist.
Jasmine must have,
Another 4
her
damage.
rage must be giving her some extra boost here, because goodness
The
gracious.
sheer irritation is just spite irritation is keeping her going.
Yeah, and with that irritation, you throw your tiara, it cracks another guy in the forehead, and he just drops.
Then I'm gonna use my movement to walk over to it and pick it up and walk back.
Yeah, well, you do that, and if you're picking it up and walking back, you have to make another attack. They get another attack of opportunity, so make a dexterity saving throw for me, please.
How? Actually, how? You know what? I'm just gonna stay there. I don't want to die again.
Oh no, did we lose Matt?
I think we lost Matt.
Oh no,
Did we lose
Does that mean
DM?
we win?
we DM loses.
Yeah! Chaos
Wait,
Raid!
he's hosting the stream. I think that means he wins.
Oh no!
We are still live,
I was gonna
actually.
say, the stream is still
Are we?
up.
Yeah.
Well, it is kind of like 5 seconds behind, so maybe it hasn't caught up.
No,
but-
no,
No, Matt's
he's
gone.
he's gone.
Oh! Well, that's impressive.
And our sound is still live too. I just checked.
Way to go, us! We
Yeah.
killed the DM.
We fucking win.
Woo! You hear that, people who are watching? All 4 of you, 5 of you, I don't know. We win.
It's the we're watching.
Funny, this is how you win Magi-Knights, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You might say I'm a true. I realized I was referencing something from TikTok that most people probably a real deep cut from TikTok actually.
Oh.
Oh my god,
Hello?
can you hear me?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Well, you know, eventually I'll learn how to actually be a professional streamer, but today is not my day. So, yeah. Okay.
Could
We already
you hear
discussed
us?
it, so
I could hear you a little bit. Yeah, like it kind of cut in and out, and you're all dicks. But I love you all
No,
anyway.
we're not.
I love you all anyway. But yeah, so here's the crazy thing, Jasmine. You only rolled a 5. But
I'll
the
stay there actually. I
But-
don't have
no, but here's the crazy thing. But with the DC was literally a 1. Because this thing has only 1 of the fucking things left, and he's seriously hurt and barely able to hang on, and you're able to run away and jump back as they slash at you. You were not hurt.
It doesn't look great, but it works.
No, it worked. It 100% worked. You do anything else on your turn?
No, can't do anything.
Okay. So, next up we have the Acolyte of the Eidolon. And pretty much all of his people are dead, or at least unconscious, and he's losing. And while he himself has full hit points, he sees the way the battle is turning. He looks at you, David. And he says, Ralasha will take you. You may have defeated us this turn, but in the end, you will fail.
Is he still curled up on the ground?
Yeah, no, he actually stands.
Like this?
He actually stands up as he says this. Now, about 30 feet away from you is a puddle. A puddle of oil that you never really noticed before now, but it's close enough. And you see the acolyte look at you, and then look at that, and then, like, you can't see their face because it's just a swirling mask, but you get the idea that it's grinning at you. It takes off in a run. You have an attack of opportunity.
I do.
Do it.
I'm probably not gonna hit.
hey,
Does a 13 hit him? Oh wait, I'm sorry. Does a 14 hit him?
Let's see. A 14 does hit him. Yeah, that's exactly his armor class.
Meets it, beats it! That's a solid 4.
4 points of damage. You slash at it using your turntable as a weapon. You hit him in the back as he's running away from you, and then you just watch him dive. Like, it's almost cartoony. He jumps up and then dives downward towards that pool of that slick, glistening oil, and you just watch as the oil envelops him, almost like a pool of water, and he is just gone.
No, he went this way.
Yeah. It is now the top of the order. Iris, you didn't see any of that. Well, no, you did see that. You're right over here. So you watched as that cultist went and jumped and dived into basically a glistening oil slick.
Okay. All right. Is it over where David is right now?
No, the oil slick's over here.
Okay. For some reason, I see David right above where I am right now.
Because that's where he was. But remember, the cultist ran. David tried to hit him, but he kept running and jumped into the oil slick.
All right, I'm going to run over to the oil slick. I'm gonna just try and hop in.
Okay, you go running over to the oil slick. You jump and land, and it's like your feet hit solid ground, and you're just standing in the middle of this oil slick right here.
All right. I make a mysticism check to understand it. Try and reconnect the portal.
Yeah, you're looking down, and you're trying to reach out at the slick. Make a mysticism check.
Shoot!
You're focusing downward, and like you stomp your feet in frustration because it's just hitting solid ground. There's nothing underneath it.
I beam the oil slick.
Well, you can certainly try, but it does literally nothing. But as you're looking down, you're looking at that reflective surface of the oil, and you can see yourself. You can see yourself in the Magi-Knight form. Your wings kind of outward, your costume that you wear, and just you're looking down at yourself and your reflection, and you just can't help but notice how irritated your face looks as you stomp your feet against it. But it does nothing.
It's a solid 7 to hit the puddle.
You don't even hit the puddle. Like, you just blast the ground next to it.
I'm so disappointed.
It's your turn, David.
God, I feel like this is the same thing that we went through earlier, and that this oil puddle doesn't have anything to do with
anything.
I mean, it does because he can jump into it, but I feel like they can just kind of do that to liquids at this point.
Yeah, anything that has a reflection.
Did we ever see this guy's face?
You did not at all.
Swirly.
It was totally Rorschached up.
Mm-hmm. It was Rorschached up, and some people went, like Jasmine, when she looked at it, like all she saw was her reflection.
And the hood was, so there was no features, like I couldn't see like hair color. Or...
No, none whatsoever.
Okay.
Absolutely nothing.
And as you're sitting there thinking about that, like I'm going to allow you to go ahead and make a intelligence check.
Okay, I have a theory. Can I tell you what my theory is right now?
Sure.
We can kind of go with that. Yo, is this just Levi?
Again, make an intelligence check.
Okay.
Who Levi?
The guy from the kitschy diner, tiki diner.
Yeah.
Oh.
17.
Okay, you physically saw Levi, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
We were all there.
Okay, so Levi, you're thinking back to yourself. You've seen Levi. He was a big jock bro. Like he lived in the gym, huge muscles, big high blonde hair. Then you're thinking about this guy. He was skinny. He was squirrely. His shoulders were small. He was thin and lanky, but he definitely did not have the muscular shape that Levi did.
Okay.
So not Levi.
Definitely not Levi. Like, the forms were completely different.
Okay.
Probably not Levi.
This might be a stretch because we've been in combat this whole time.
Mhm.
Have I noticed any other just like pools of water, like maybe from rain or?
No, I actually described this as a ravine that's very, very dry because it hasn't rained in quite a while this month.
Okay, so this is the only thing of liquid that we've seen. Okay, I'm gonna.
Mm-hmm.
I got the turn order away.
So far you've used a bonus action worth of trying to figure shit out.
Yeah. I'm gonna get over here, and I am going to. A readied action's a thing.
Yeah, you can hold an action if you want to.
I am going to ready an explosion for if he comes out of this.
Okay, fair enough. Tilia, it's now your turn. You have no idea what's going on the other side of that bridge over there, because that's what this is. I don't know if I ever mentioned that, but like this big thing right here, this is a big overhead bridge with like column. Okay. Yeah, it's like got columns and stuff that's holding up the road so cars can pass over the ravine. And he was under there, and you were under there, David. I apologize for not mentioning it sooner, but like all that is very, very dark area. Now,
it makes sense now that I actually look at it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh no, it totally does by the map, but Matt didn't describe it. I forgot to. So anyway, Tilia, you saw your friends like disappear underneath that bridge. There is still a little bit of these cultists left. There's one left over here. But other than that, you only can see. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, Bianca, standing right next to you, was frozen in that position. Literally 30 seconds ago, or actually 12 seconds ago, if you want to be technical. Bianca, her eyes rolled forward, and she just collapsed at your feet. Almost about the same time that cultist disappeared from the scene, though you personally did not see that.
I'm gonna try and beam the last little horde here. Because goddammit, it needs to work at least once.
Hey, I'm rooting for you. Roll your attack.
What? Ooh.
Did it work?
18!
Yay!
Roll your damage, Tilia.
I click it. 13!
Ooh.
I imagine, Tilia, you are frustrated as shit right now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And you line up your spell and release. And it had 3 hit points left. So tell me, Tilia, how this looks.
I put my arms out and like these tentacles, I don't know what to call them. Anyways, of shadow, like black, almost like liquid ichor, just sort of start like spiraling out, and right in the center of it, this beam of bright white light, and all of it just goes and hits, and yeah.
and it slams into that last cultist, annihilating him. He falls backward to the ground, and he lies unconscious.
And then I'm gonna quickly turn around to Bianca and just make sure that she's okay. If I might do, like, I don't know, a medicine check or something on her.
Yeah, go for it. Do a medicine check, because really we're out of initiative at this point.
9.
You kneel down and you like start shaking her, and she's completely unresponsive.
Can I at least, like,
To you,
feel
to-
her breath? Is she breathing?
Yeah, you put your hand next to her nostrils, and you wait a few moments, and she is still breathing.
Okay.
But
Guys, how are we gonna get them out of here? Oh, can Jasmine speak now?
well, that's the other thing.
Bianca's unfrozen.
Like you're looking over at Jasmine, and you just kind of call out, "Jasmine, can you talk now?" Jasmine, you try to force your mouth apart, and your lips do spread, and you can't help but hack and cough a little bit as that nasty sludge comes out of your lungs. But
I'm gonna throw a chair at the next person I see.
and that's what you hear, Tilia.
Okay, but maybe not us, or, you know, the ghost hunting kids who are knocked out already.
The next person I see that deserves it then.
You look over to the kids that were in the sigil, and like you're starting to see them stir a little bit. They're like trying to push themselves up. Some of them are holding their head. There's all 5 of them. The goofy NPCs who don't have any actual lines in this module, but they seem to be pushing themselves up and holding their heads, and they seem dazed and confused and disoriented, but they're at least moving a little bit, letting you know that they are in fact alive.
I'm gonna try and, like, at least sit Bianca up so that she's not just, like, lying face down in the dirt.
Yeah, you start lifting her up, and you see her like move a little bit. Her eyes start to flutter, and I don't. Where am I? She's kind of muttering to herself.
You're not too far from the Blockbuster. I think you might have, you and your ghost hunting group might have tripped and fallen down the ravine.
Her eyes kind of like you watch them as the pupils start to dilate a little bit, and her eyes start to focus on you. What? Who are you?
Are you still transformed?
Yes, you very much are.
And I run.
You just drop her and you start running the opposite direction.
Well, no, I leaned her up against the wall of the ravine where she was fully conscious, and then I just scramble up.
Okay, yeah, you start scrambling up there, and like you look back and she's disoriented and like wobbling a little bit and seems very, very just out of it.
Iris!
What do the rest of you do?
I'm just sprinting. Oh, did you jump all the way back down into the ravine?
No, I was, so I just went under the bridge, I guess.
Yeah.
So you're back down in the ravine?
She was in the ravine the whole time, but yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well then, would I have not seen her? No?
You probably would have seen her. You can probably see her.
I'm still technically glowing for now, although as I'm running up, I'm going to try and untransform so I don't catch too much attention.
Well, like, the Ghost Hunter Club is acting they're very disoriented. They're holding their head. They seem like out of it and confused.
All right. I'm going to roll mysticism to make sure that they have not been overtly affected by this.
Okay. You walk over there, still in your Magi-Knight form at this point. Go ahead and make your mysticism check.
Oh, that's a ghetto 20.
No, good. Yeah, with that nat 20,
Ghetto 20.
or ghetto 20, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Dirty 20, we like to call it. With
Okay.
with that dirty 20, you can definitely tell that any of you don't sense any evil auras about them. You're not sensing any lingering corruption. They just seem as though like the spell has twisted their senses and made them confused and disoriented, and they're not quite sure what's going on. But you're not sensing any lingering effects that make you think they're like evil or corrupted or anything like that.
All right. Well, now that I know that they're okay, Iris is going to be like, Tilia, where are you?
Okay, you yell that out, and Tilia, you hear it in the distance. Tilia, where are you?
So like out of breath, I'm puffing and puffing, and I'm like leaning against the street light, and I'm like,
Jeez.
and
What
I
about the-
transform back into my student form.
What about
I
the rest of you?
Out of the ravine. I jump out of the ravine before I transform back.
Okay, you go running and jump and make it to the top of the ravine. At which point you transform as well, and and you're able to just linger there in the shadows. Your soul crystal, once you transform this, the light from the soul crystal just dims. Now you can control that. You can make it brighter or darker, but like in the moment it just dims and keeps you a little bit to the shadows.
I'm gonna flick my flashlight on and off.
Yeah, to let them know where you are. Absolutely. Daryl looks to the rest of you all and he says, "Perhaps we should get out of here, right? And now that we know that they're okay."
Probably.
Should
Okay.
we call an ambulance?
Probably.
I
Iris
look around to
will-
see if there's another phone booth anywhere.
Jasmine, David, what are you two doing?
I think David stays by this pool for a little bit too long. He kind of sits there like hand hovering, and then nothing happens, and like the adrenaline's kind of dying out, and all of his like exhaustion and taxing himself catches up, and he kind of starts to slump a little bit, and then lets the whole costume like die away
Okay.
as he turns back, and then
This is gonna take a.
yeah.
What about you, Jasmine?
She's just gonna lay down on the middle of the parking lot of the Blockbuster Video and just take a nap. Too much is going on. Fuck all of this. Take it in.
Like, all of you are kind of up on the top of the ravine by this point, clustering up together as Iris starts looking, or Tilia starts looking around for a payphone. So go ahead and make an investigation check. But while you're doing that, you watch as Bianca, like, she stands up, she's holding her head, she looks over to her friends in the remains of the sigil, which no longer is glowing, but you can still see like the blackened outline of those the runes and the sigil carved into the dirt, and it's like blackened and charred at this point. Like, she goes over to her friends and like kind of helps them all up, and Together, they look around and they see the unconscious forms of all of these cultists. And you all watch as they huddle and talk amongst one another for a little bit. They don't notice you, because you're all up at the top and your soul crystals have been dimmed. But you watch as they all start walking out of the ravine, away from the cultists, holding their heads still, seeming disoriented, like you watch them wobble a little bit as they're walking, but they seem to be helping each other as they make their way back home.
Got a 22 looking for a phone booth.
There is a phone booth nearby, over there near the Blockbuster video store.
Okay, I'm going to use it to call for help for the cultists, because I think in the alley, when they started waking up, they couldn't remember where they were, right?
Mm-hmm. That's correct.
Yeah. And even though the Ghost Hunter Club seems to be leaving under their own steam, I'm going to call for help for the ones who are still down in the ravine. I'm just going to call and be like, I was walking by the Blockbuster and I saw some people down in the ravine. I think they might have fallen. I don't know. And hang up.
Yeah,
then I'm gonna
absolutely.
Like, okay, we gotta go.
And I imagine by this point, all of you kind of like, okay, we need to get out of here. And so unless anybody has anything they particularly want to do, you can all make your way away from the Blockbuster video store as you hear the sounds of sirens calling out.
Oh yeah, we gotta go. We gotta go.
As you're all skulking away, you all look around, and the Wanderer is there next to you, and he says, "Wow, well done, everybody. You took out those cultists with no problem. I'm really impressed. Well, unfortunately, since you called the cops, I don't think we can go and gather any gloom gems from the spot, but we should try to make our way over here tomorrow to see if we can get any lingering energy that remains."
That was the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Oops.
These cops have a really quick response time.
Yeah.
Well, it's almost as if nothing goes on in the city while in the middle of the night, and so once a call is made,
mean that whatever's patrolling is close enough to get here within.
I mean, it's not like it's gonna take a little bit of time. I'm just you all said you're heading out, so I'm assuming that's what you're doing.
Oh, should we try and collect gloom gems real quick? Whatever they're called before we skedaddle.
How close do we have to be? Can we suck them all up while we're just over here by the Blockbuster?
No, you actually have to go down there next to the things.
I'll go. If they show up, I'll just take out my first aid kit like I was trying to help them.
Well, let's do this real quick then. Okay. So in total, there is 17 spectral energy to collect. So we're going to have to roll 17d8. Anyone who has a mysticism proficiency can re-roll once when they do so. It's honestly, like, to me, I feel like it's easier to just roll 17d8 and then say, I'm re-rolling this one, I'm re-rolling this one, so on and so forth. Does that work for y'all?
We have 3 mysticism proficiencies, if I remember right.
Let's, yeah, I think that sounds about right.
Okay.
So somebody roll 17d8 real quick.
Oh, look, that's exactly 3 ones.
Yeah, exactly 3 1. So I want 3 of you to re-roll a D8.
All right, that's +5. Eight.
I don't have proficiency in mysticism. Do you still want me to roll
Yeah,
it
go-
for whoever it is? Okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
3.
10, so 83.
Let's see. Is that right?
Yeah.
So let's see. A nat 8 is a 2. Each one represents 1 otherwise, and then you multiply it.
Oh, okay. I forgot that there was weird math.
Yeah, it is weird math.
Some weird math and strange science.
So yeah, the way it
19
works is 2 through 7 counts as a 1, and 8 counts as a 2, and a 1 counts as a 0.
Okay.
Okay.
So,
19
yes.
times
So-
what?
19 times 2.
Okay, so 38.
So 38. That's how many gloom gems everyone's collected.
We each get 38?
Yeah, everyone together each gets 38.
Okay.
Like
Alright.
a 38 a piece, or like 38 divided between
No,
us?
38 apiece.
Wow, literally just doubled gloom gems.
Mm-hmm.
That's so many.
What do we
Yeah.
use these for?
Where do we keep them?
So basically,
In your heart.
each of you has a hollow gem, and the hollow gem, it absorbs the innate spectral energy that's left behind by an outsider, and can be placed into your hollow gem, and then you can give that to the wanderer, who can transmute that power into shards of power or magical runes for your weapons or armor.
I'm holding out for runes. Even though they cost like 1,000 or whatever.
Yeah, so I just gave you the Gloom Gems handout, but just remember, each of you gained an extra 38 power. And as you're all kind of running away at this point, heading back to your respective homes, you do hear the police sirens getting closer and closer, and you do see them stopping just outside of the ravine, about the point all of you are making your way home. And it's also 10:30, so this is a great place to end things for tonight.
An armor costs 150.
Mm-hmm.
And then a second armor rune, 250. Weapon rune is also 250.
Or you can trade them in for shards of power, which basically act as potions.
Yeah. We can get a maximum rarity shard of power for each of us. Fragment of power. Because a rarity 8 only costs 40.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I will remind you, you can carry up to one of each type of shard. So you can carry one healing, one yada yada yada. But anywho, well done, everybody. You defeated the cultists. You saved the Ghost Hunter Club. They seem to be making their ways back home, disoriented and confused, and not quite sure what happened. The only thing they really saw is some odd-looking dressed people, and then a bunch of unconscious cultists. So who knows what they'll make of that? But as always, I like to give everyone a chance to give a shout out from where they're from what they like to do, and also how well you liked the episode. So let's see. Let's go with Jeff first. Jeff, tell us where we can find you and how much you enjoyed this latest battle against the cultists. You're also muted.
I thought at the very beginning we were totally screwed. It was dealing 14s every single time, just like, there's no way we win this. There's no way we survive this. This is the last one. But we made it through by some miracle. Thank heavens. I blame David. How dare you save us with your multiple explosions.
Explosion's fucking broken.
It kind of is. I didn't realize this. I may need to invest in that.
It is very useful against the hordes.
Yeah.
Then
It's absolutely terrible against single target. But yeah. It breaks apart hordes like they're nothing.
that is probably what it's for.
It is.
And then I actually do have something that I'm shouting out. If you're in Salt Lake City for Fan X, I'm technically going to be a part of that. I'm going to be DMing for the Foundation for Prevention of Violence.
Nice.
It's basically a foundation that's trying to protect people, victims of domestic violence, and preventing it. And I'm going to be DMing 5e games, 2 hours long, for every day of FanX this coming week. So the 20th, 22nd, 23rd, and the 24th. So
Awesome.
if you're there, you could see me, maybe.
Hey, that sounds like an amazing cause. I love it. That sounds awesome. Well done. Okay, Dasonie, how about you? Can't hear you.
You're muted, bro.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yep.
First, I want to say good for David and his go up. Saving our lives. Adds 10 points on the attractiveness scale.
I mean, if you say so.
You can find me every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time on the Power Rangers Project Stretchum YouTube channel and Power Rangers Savage Stampede playing Natasha Blackwood. We're about to have a crossover with another Power Rangers team on the channel. You might see Rangers fighting some Rangers.
Very cool. Love it. Okay, Hito, Tensi, what's up?
Hey Dasonie, did you know there's a weapon rune you can take that lets you throw your weapon?
I am so liberal about this game because we're just doing a one shot. I love it. Yeah.
Yeah, you can put a sending
I-
rune in your weapon.
I also realized I forgot to level up, so I should do that.
Yeah, you probably want to do that.
Yeah,
It's only been
a
like
little
2
bit.
episodes since then.
Hey, I'm gonna talk about something very specific that Bard Rock Cafe is going to be doing this November. On November 5th, we are going to be running a 12-hour-long series of games for Extra Life for the Children's Miracle Network of Hospitals. It is going to be 4 games in immediate succession with 4 different GMs, and it's a big castle siege. And each section is a different part of it, so the actions of one group will affect what the next one has to deal with. We are still looking for players for this if anybody is interested. I know Matt has already signed up for it.
Yep.
But yeah, we're still looking for more people. So if you are interested, you can go to either my Twitter, Tensei Dragon, TENSEIDRAGON, and the top post on it is a link to a Google form. You can also go to the Bard Rock Cafe Twitter, at Bard Rock Cafe, and there's a Google form on the top of theirs as well.
I don't have Twitter.
I'll send you the link.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's probably also on our Reddit and Facebook and other things, but I only use Twitter, so that's the only one that I know of personally.
I did.
Yeah.
I did. Yeah, I signed up for it. I hope I can play in it. It'll be a lot of fun. I love doing charity things.
It's really ambitious. It's a bigger project than we've ever done before, and I'm really hoping that we can pull it off mostly seamlessly.
Yeah, I love it. I definitely next year. I'm really looking into doing some charity stuff next year. I wanted to do it this year. It didn't work out, but I want to try it again. So yeah, I love it. I very much support it. I want to do more stuff like that. Okay, Alyssa, it's all you.
You can find me here every Monday, playing at the 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time slot, with the Fab 5. We just leveled up to level 12, Matt?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yep.
we're level 12 now. Things are exciting. Things are scary. We may have pissed off an ancient dragon who is now raising a city, that we promptly dipped right out of.
Yep.
Other than that, you can find me at Alyssa Crochets on Instagram, where I post some of my nerdy crochet projects and commissions and stuff. Yeah, I think that's about it. At least that's all the PG stuff.
Yeah, that's all the PG stuff. Well, I'm Matthew R. Dawson, your friendly neighborhood host and GM here on the Random Rhapsody Network. You can always find me here every Monday and Wednesday on Twitch. You can also go to youtube.com/Random Rhapsody now that we actually have a personalized web address, so that's awesome. So come check us out and hang out. We do a lot of goofy shit. We do a lot of fun things, and like Alyssa said, they just pissed off a legendary dragon that is decimating a city, and they just pieced out of. But you know, the debauchery circus at the 3 p.m. slot, they're still kind of stuck there. So we'll find out what happens with that on Monday. But yeah, on behalf of everyone here with the Magi-Knights and everyone with the Random Rhapsody crew, I just want to say thank you for watching. Have a great evening. And we'll see you literally next week, because next Wednesday we're going to do this again. So, good night, everybody.
Good night.